Ellen McCauley at Parade off in Syracuse, New York. And over the next few weeks, I'm going to talk a little bit about a topic, and then I'm going to talk either about a diet or some sort of plan. And this week, we're going to talk about low sodium, because I truly believe that this group has way too many items that are high in sodium. One of the reasons why I would gain weight so quickly when I go out and have a good time, if you will, is maybe I'll have sausage, or maybe I'll have chips, or something that I don't have normally, and that sodium, I can lose. That's why people say you lose water weight. You're really not losing water weight. You're reducing the sodium that's hanging onto that water, and therefore you can lose it. So can reducing sodium intake reduce your body weight? Absolutely. One of the reasons you drink water is to flush some of these things out. Healthy adults need between 1,200 and 1,500 milligrams of sodium per day, and the average American consumes 3,400 milligrams. Now, I'm not putting you on the spot. Nobody knows who you are. But there's a couple people in this group that use those trackers, those computer trackers. And if you put in the food, it lets you know what your sodium is. And if you don't think you're, like even, we look at sodium all the time because you're like, oh my gosh, that's healthy. Oh, 570. You know, you have like one serving of that, 570, and then maybe the packet size is, you could have 2 servings for 300 calories per meal, but already you're at 1,100 milligrams of sodium. Here's what I say. If you eat natural, if you have vegetables, if you have fresh fruits, if you have meats without tons of preservative like barbecue sauce and ketchup, you're going to have food naturally has sodium. Because don't be afraid. Don't say, oh, I won't get I'll have a heart fib, AFib without sodium. No. The food you eat has 1,200 to 1,500 milligrams of sodium, and that's all you need. Now, I, for one, like salt on my tomato slices. I like salt on my cucumber. So for 15 years, I use a product called No Salt, NOSALT. And it's pricey, but the container lasts a year, I think. So if it's $8, divide that by 12 months, it's pretty cheap. And to me, it tastes just like salt, and there's no salt in it at all. And some people were like, well, I like to use, what's that other salt everyone poops their pants over? No. Not rock salt. You know that.
Kosher salt.
No, not kosher.
Sea salt?
Sea salt. Sea salt. They say, oh, I will use sea salt. It's still salt. Just because it's from the sea, it's still salt. You know, it's the same amount of sodium. You know, you're putting that on there, isn't saving you any. But no salt is just potassium. And I use it, and I love it. You can buy it anywhere. Processed foods are the, people say, I only had a couple of hot dogs and I didn't have the bun. Well, look at the sodium in a couple of hot dogs, everybody. All right, losing weight, if you're on fresh and steamed produce with rinsed beans and fruit and veggies, you're not going to die. You're going to be healthier. Fluid is attracted to sodium like a magnet. 70% of the sodium in the American diet is from processed foods. A healthy breakfast with whole oats and walnut butter and fresh strawberries with some soy milk only has 132 milligrams of sodium. And a healthy salad is less than 300 milligrams. A low-calorie frozen dinner contains about 700 milligrams, and a 6-inch turkey sub on wheat bread from Subway is over 900 milligrams. So, reducing sodium in a salty world. If anyone in this group, and I'm not going to make you raise your hand, has high blood pressure, and you're not watching the sodium, come into the room after the meeting and let me slap you. Okay? Because you should be watching your sodium. If you have high blood pressure, elevated blood pressure is the leading cause of preventable death worldwide. And sodium is one of the leading causes of elevated blood pressure. Americans overindulge in sodium. I sometimes will go out, rarely, and I'll want a bowl of soup with dinner if we go out to dinner, which we don't go out to dinner very much because we don't want to. It's money and it's not a treat. But if I have a bowl of soup, I can tell immediately, oh my gosh, it is so salty. Oh, whew, I can't even eat it. Studies show that when people are given a lower sodium diet for a period of time, they begin to prefer lower sodium foods, and the foods they used to enjoy taste too salty. That's the way I feel. Awareness is an important strategy for making changes. Don't even have the salt shaker on the table. And even, some people say, well, when I make my hard-boiled eggs, I put a lot of salt in the water because the shells come off easier. That salt's going right into the hard-boiled eggs. So if you have an Instapot, you can buy a little gadget that you can put in the Instapot, and it will do a dozen eggs in an instant, and you don't have to put salt in it, and the shells come right off. You can buy those adapters on Amazon. Smoked, cured, salt, or canned meat, fish or poultry, including bacon, cold cuts, ham, frankfurter saucer, sardines, frozen breaded meats, burritos, pizza, or otherwise your food log from last week, all has a great deal of sodium. And you don't have to be a rocket scientist to know that fresh fruits and vegetables have natural sodium. And I've included a low sodium turkey marinara casserole. If you're making your own soups, get low sodium broth. Everything we do is low sodium. And guess what? We survived, and it tastes good. Look at this marinara casserole. 93% lean ground turkey. It's more money, but we can afford it. So is eating out. Eating out's a lot of money. Not as much as a pound of lean ground turkey. Olive oil, garlic, onions, green pepper, some spices. You don't need the stinking cooking wine. Zucchini, diced tomato, some tomato sauce, and then you can put it on whole wheat rotini, or how about spaghetti squash? And it has very low sodium. Gonna stop right there, Bobby.